There is a specific kind of quiet that exists at 2 in the morning. Not silence exactly, more like the world has exhaled and forgotten to breathe back in. It's the hour when most people are asleep, when city streets are empty and algorithms slow their crawl, when the internet itself seems to pause just barely before the next wave of noise. It was in that quiet, on an October night in 2016, that a group of teenagers, scattered across basements and bedrooms from New Jersey to Finland, did something that no one had ever done quite like this before. They didn't hack a government, they didn't steal anything, they didn't even fully understand at first what they had done. But by morning, some of the biggest websites on the planet, Twitter, Netflix, Reddit, Spotify, the New York Times, were simply gone, unreachable, as if someone had turned off a light switch for the internet itself. This is the story of how it happened, and more than that, this is the story of who they were. To understand what these teenagers did, you have to understand something about the internet that most people never think about. The internet isn't really one thing, it's millions of things. Servers, cables, routers, all connected by a kind of invisible map. And that map has a name. It's called the Domain Name System, DNS. You can think of it like a phone book. You type in twitter.com, and the phone book tells your computer the actual address, the numbers, where Twitter lives. Without it, you'd have to memorize strings of digits for every website you've ever visited. There's a company called Dyn. They were, at the time, one of the most important phone bookkeepers on the internet. Millions of requests ran through them every second. Every time someone typed in a web address, every time an app refreshed, every time a smart thermostat checked the weather. It was infrastructure so critical, so quietly essential, that almost no one knew it existed. And somewhere out there, a teenager had built a weapon aimed directly at it. The weapon was called Mirai. It was a piece of malware, a self-replicating program, written not by a nation-state, not by professional hackers in dark-lit server rooms, but by a 21-year-old college student named Paris Jha. He'd built it originally for a petty reason, to knock rival Minecraft servers offline so his own server could attract more players. The economics of competitive gaming, taken to a terrifying extreme. But Mirai had a trick. It didn't just infect computers, it infected everything. Routers, webcams, baby monitors, DVRs, all those cheap internet-connected devices that people plug in and forget about, the ones with default passwords that never get changed. Username, admin, password, password. Mirai knew every one of them, and it walked right in. By the time someone leaked Mirai's source code online in the autumn of 2016, it was already out of Paris Jha's hands. Anyone could use it, anyone could build on it, and someone did. On October 21st, 2016, a Friday morning on the American East Coast, wave after wave of traffic began hammering Dyn's servers. Not human traffic, machine traffic. Hundreds of thousands of compromised devices, from cameras and routers in homes across the world, all screaming the same thing at the same server at the same time. It was a distributed denial of service attack, a DDoS, but of a scale the internet had never seen, estimated at 1.2 terabits per second. To put that in context, most home internet connections run at around 1/100th of 1% of that speed. The phone book burned down, and half the internet went with it. People on the East Coast woke up to a broken internet. Twitter wouldn't load. Netflix spun endlessly. Spotify went silent. Dozens of major websites unreachable, not because they were hacked, not because their own servers failed, but because the invisible infrastructure beneath them had been overwhelmed by an army of baby monitors. The attack lasted most of the day. Cybersecurity experts scrambled. Government officials were briefed. The Department of Homeland Security opened an investigation. And across the internet, one question echoed everywhere. Who did this? Was it Russia? A rival government? A sophisticated criminal organization? It was, in a very real sense, none of the above. Paris Jha was not what you'd picture when you hear the word hacker. He was a Rutgers University student who liked video games and had a gift for code. Josiah White was from Pennsylvania, also a young man with technical talent that outpaced his years. Dalton Norman was from Louisiana. None of them were strangers to the internet's gray areas. They'd built tools, run servers, pushed the boundaries of what was allowed, but none of them had set out to break the world. What's remarkable when you trace the story back is how ordinary the whole thing began. A Minecraft rivalry, a line of code, a tool that was supposed to be temporary, that was supposed to stay contained. But the internet doesn't do contained. Once Mirai's source code was released, it was a forest fire with no firebreak. When the FBI came knocking, Paris Jha cooperated. He pleaded guilty. So did the others. And in a twist that says something strange and complicated about how we value technical talent, they were not sent to prison. Instead, they were ordered to serve their time helping the FBI, using the very skills that had caused the damage to help prevent future ones. Their sentence was, in some ways, an acknowledgement of a difficult truth. We need people who understand this world, even the ones who broke it. Here is the thing that keeps cybersecurity researchers up at night. The thing that no one really wants to say out loud at a press conference. The Mirai attack didn't happen because of some sophisticated, brilliant exploit. It happened because of neglect. It happened because billions of devices were shipped with default passwords and no mechanism to update them. Because consumers weren't warned. Because manufacturers weren't held accountable. Because the internet grew faster than our wisdom about how to secure it. After the Mirai attack, some things changed. Security researchers grew louder. Legislation in some countries began requiring better baseline security for connected devices. The conversation about internet infrastructure, that invisible architecture most people never think about, briefly surfaced into public view. And then it faded again, as these conversations tend to do. The baby monitors kept shipping with default passwords. The webcams kept going unpatched. The DVRs kept sitting in living rooms, quietly waiting. There are an estimated 15 billion internet-connected devices in the world today. By the end of this decade, that number could reach 50 billion. Each one is a door. Most of them are unlocked. I think about Paris Jha sometimes. Not as a villain, that's too simple. I think about him at 19, sitting in front of a screen, writing something he thought was clever, something that felt, in the way that things can feel when you're young and gifted and haven't yet collided with consequence, like a game. I think about how the distance between a game and a catastrophe can be measured in a single line of leaked code. We live in a world built on infrastructure we don't see, maintained by people we don't know, vulnerable in ways we'd rather not think about. The internet is not a force of nature, it's a construction, fragile in the places we forget to look. And the people most likely to find those fragile places aren't always who we expect. Sometimes they're just teenagers, awake at 2 in the morning, curious about what happens when you push. The internet came back up that October day. Life resumed. Most people never even learned what Dyn was, or why their Netflix stopped working, or what Mirai meant. But somewhere right now, another tool is being written. Another door is being found. And the question isn't whether it will happen again. The question is whether, this time, we'll be paying attention.